Hey, here we are. It's been a long week. Have some exciting news for everyone. First off, Brand and Creative said we can no longer call this Coffee Talk with the Security Gang because of some implications. So we are now rebranded officially as Coffee Talk
with Surge.
There we go. We didn't even plan that. That's how good we are.
It's natural.
We are here in beautiful, chilly Boulder, Colorado for reasons that, Mick, why are we here today?
So here's the thing. You know, we always do our show. We're virtual. Since conf was going on, we're going to do a special episode with Doug on the keynote at the main stage. But COVID decided conf was virtual this year, and Doug never gave us the address to his mega yacht, and I believe the helipads are under construction. Ryan's badge still worked here in the Boulder office, so here we are.
We snuck him in. It's been a fun time. So we do have a couple other changes other than just the rebranding. We're also going to introduce a new segment that I'm pretty excited about, of 5 minutes of wisdom with Audra Streetman, our newest Surge employee that we're pretty excited about. And then later on, we're going to do something that I'm really regretting agreeing to,
yes.
Which is mostly consuming tofu with hot sauces as we listen to some of the hottest takes and burning questions that we have found on the internet delivered to you by some of the people who happen to be randomly in the office sleeping during the week, which I'm pretty jazzed about. And we're also going to do a quick roundup of some of the news. We're thinking 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes tops, depending on how much we cry.
We're going to cry a lot, so be ready for that.
Cool. So with that, Drew, our wonderful producer in the background, can you roll the 5 minutes with Audra that we filmed earlier today?
Thank you, Ryan and Mick. I'm very excited to be a member of Surge, Splunk's new security research team. I've always been interested in cybersecurity, but my background is actually in journalism. Before I arrived at Splunk, I worked in local TV news as an anchor, reporter, and a producer. So in the weeks ahead, I'll be joining the Coffee Talk sessions with Mick and Ryan to do a 5-minute roundup of the top cybersecurity news. Today, however, I thought it would be fitting to do a recap of the Conf 21 sessions featuring Surge members and contributors. This year's conference was packed full of really interesting talks. We had Marcus LaFerrera and Ryan Kovar, who had a presentation with an accompanying white paper on detecting supply chain attacks using Splunk and JA3S hashes to detect malicious activity on servers. The JA3S data was also referenced, that was referenced in that paper, was used in the APT scenario in this year's 6th annual Boss of the SOC competition. We actually had more than 2,400 people registered for Boss of the SOC this year, with participants in 52 countries on 6 continents, so a great turnout there. In another session, John Stoner referenced data from Boss of the SOC to illustrate how indicators can easily be integrated with the threat intelligence framework using Splunk Enterprise Security, as well as how to customize the correlation of these indicators. The session included tips and techniques to quickly ingest or detect and ingest indicators and operationalize threat intelligence. Drew Church showed us how an IT specialist at the Department of the Navy is leveraging Splunk to better automate data collection, reporting, and visualization to quickly identify and remediate compliance issues. Megan Parsons and James Young, they broke down the key technical steps for asset discovery, and that means understanding all of your assets, which is a critical foundation for any risk-based security practice. Lily Lee and James Young and Paul Pelletier compared SIEM, SOAR, and XDR to help demystify these technologies and show how they can actually complement each other within your organization. Tamara Chacon and Katie Brown guided participants through core Splunk and enterprise security using a prescriptive training roadmap so that they can grow from a beginner to a champion in Splunk security. Dave Harold and Chris Riley showed us how Splunk can be used for DevSecOps use cases, along with attack detection using known TTPs from recent security incidents. Attendees can access data from that talk on BossNG, which is Splunk's new on-demand security workshop program. And last but not least, we had a number of really amazing keynote speakers at Conf this year, including neuroscientist and technologist Dr. Poppy Crum, retired NASA astronaut Joan Higginbotham, Humans of New York author and photographer Brandon Stanton, and also Mark Hamill, best known for his role as Luke Skywalker and also the voice of the Joker. So there you have it. That is a recap of Conf 21 speakers this year featuring Surge members and contributors. If you missed any of these sessions and would like to see them, you can watch them on demand by visiting conf.splunk.com. Mick and Ryan, back to you.
Yeah, Mick, so this one.
No. I think we're just gonna, we'll probably start crying there, I think. And then over here, we're just,
over
yeah,
the
it's
rest.
gonna be
Well,
bad
that's why we
news.
have the yogurt. So thank you, Audra, for your 3 minutes and 47 seconds. The extra minute and a half will be coming out of your paycheck, and we'll figure that out. So we really did some work trying to figure out what the news was to talk about. I think the most interesting thing to me was really around the money laundering and ransomware. Mick, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know, it's episode of Coffee Talk with Surge. We're going to talk about ransomware again.
Ransomware.
So there was a huge meeting, 30 plus countries hanging out, and there was a joint statement, hey, ransomware is bad globally, we got to crack down on this. Interestingly, not really interestingly, I guess, Russia was not present at the meeting, so it's like maybe they should have been.
Did they try holding it in Crimea?
Well, maybe that's the next one. Joint summit.
Joint summit. So what is that actually going to do? I mean, I like the idea of people telling them, like, hey, don't do ransomware, that's really bad. Are there any new legislative actions? Will Biden be able to send SEAL Team 6 or Delta Force after them?
Well, I certainly hope not. So I think there is a lot of policy work that's going on a global level, and you know, we realize ransomware is a problem, and it's going to take a combined effort across the globe to combat it. We're seeing legislation, we're seeing some sanctions, OFAC, things Treasury came out, and there was a FinCEN report that kind of gives you an idea of exactly how big this problem is. And it was over $5 billion for ransomware payments in cryptocurrency, and that's huge.
Do you think the governments are turning to this because we haven't come up with a technological solution for this, so we've had to look at soft power rather than the actual implementation of technology? And how will blockchain solve this problem?
Well, I think when you put it on the blockchain, or on the line, really, that's when we're going to be safest. I think there are technical solutions out there, but you and I scream this all day. Multi-factor would really reduce a lot of these efforts, or reduce a lot of the compromises that we see specific to ransomware. So that's not really, I wouldn't call that a technical solution. I wouldn't call that a policy solution. It's just basic ass security.
There was the last, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago now, one of our former, a sailor sold some secrets to the FBI, and he had great statecraft the whole way, but he, screwed up by just basically not by. The long story here is that he let the FBI agent pick the drops, the dead drop for the cryptographic material instead of picking himself. So got everything right, but one of the things I did notice is he picked Monero, right? Which is a fun twist, right? We're very used to hearing about all sorts of different cryptocurrency, but Monero, to my knowledge, is still one of the only ones that is fairly untraceable in terms of movements and things. I'm wondering, do you think any of the things done by the Treasury, done by FinCEN, any of these, are they going to have any impact on the Monero aspect?
No.
No.
Like,
there you go.
There you go.
Heard it here today in Boulder.
I do think there are impacts that can be made, but coming from the blue team background we have, you stop one, there's going to be another. And in cryptocurrency, and you do see a lot of legislation and regulation being introduced, but I think there is a market not understanding of how cryptocurrency works, and until that changes, blocking a lot of these transactions is going to be really, really hard to do consistently.
So speaking of legislation blocking things not possible with on-prem, we also have new rules coming out about hacking tools, right? So we're going to legislate hacking tools out of existence, which there's some, Second Amendment people who are going to say if you outlaw hacking tools, only hackers will have hacking tools. Is that the argument?
I think it just makes it a little more difficult to get tools. Commerce released announced that you cannot sell tools to, China, Russia, Israel. These are offensive security tools. But it's weird to me because the agreement, I don't believe Russia signed it.
Starting to notice a theme here.
And, there are countries that did sign that still sell offensive security tools. And most recently, China had their 0-day festival. So, okay, I can't sell things to China, but they just had a festival.
Yeah.
Where,
do you think that in the reality, does this matter at all, right? Like, is the USA, is TAO going to local vendors and saying, hey guys, we came up empty this week, no one hit their OKRs for defensive software development, could you go ahead and just give us some good stuff?
No, I really think that, the game goes on. And when you look at 0 days at that level, most of them originate from specific people or specific groups.
Well, that's always what kills. I mean, I know you're a big DEF CON guy, and I love going to DEF CON, but it is not really a hacker conference anymore. It's a hacker celebration. It's a hacker festival.
Yes.
So, like, how many people there are actually slinging code, writing exploits, writing devs, like maybe 100, 200?
Yeah, I'd say,
right?
but in the same vein that Comic-Con is about comics, DEF CON's about hacking.
And that's a pretty tight Venn diagram overlap, especially for Dimitri McKay, who attends both.
He does, in his Iron Man suit.
Yes, it's very weird, very weird. My personal favorite way to hack is F12.
I'm a right clicker. Everybody knows that. It's one of my TTPs. I reply all. I right click on things, and I spend too much money on shoes. These are TTPs of mine.
These are TTPs, yeah. At Splunk, we don't recommend people use F12. We recommend people use F1. You may not have heard of it, but we're big into McLaren, and they have a lot of race cars and keys.
They do. And with ShmooCon coming up, we're going to be all about F5 soon enough.
Yeah, so at that point, we have about 30% of the F keys kind of going through. We're almost an F society, some might say.
Some would say that. There's a robot guy. I guess the point I'm making is F12 is not a crime, but wget, I think, is that slippery slope. We'll talk about some other episode.
For those of you who are a little confused and haven't kept up with the minutia of the internet, the Missouri governor was very upset that a reporter actually went ahead and told the Missouri government that, hey, you're releasing PAI on your website in the source code of an HTML page. And at which point he pointed out that this is a multi-step hacking offense and people would be prosecuted, and the internet erupted in hilarity. And a lot of F12 and F2 and F5 jokes. There was much refreshing.
Yeah,
so
we'll keep doing this all day.
Oh, we actually have a wild James Brodsky who wants to appear. Can you give us, for those of you who are not clear on what an F12 key is, it is located here. So avoid this section of your keyboard, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's important. Thank you, James.
I think we're going to need a non-proliferation agreement.
Yeah,
about,
sadly,
keyboards.
Russia will also not sign that. And I'm also not even sure if a Cyrillic keyboard has an F12.
It's true.
Or it may just be all F12s.
It doesn't work because it's Cyrillic.
It's Cyrillic, yes, okay. That's all we have for news, so I think we're going to go to the more painful segment of the day. James Brodsky, hand of God, if you would you bring us over what we have?
We're very serious in Boulder about our tofu.
Very serious. We are in Boulder. We wanted to make things local. We decided that having hot sauce on granola was too disgusting.
Yeah.
So Mick went back to his heritage, and we got some fried tofu
from Tai Alloy, and I went out and got a bunch of local hot sauces from friends over at Savory Spice, Seed Company, and Yin Yang.
Yep.
So what we're gonna do is normally do a charity challenge, but this time, since it's conf, and I spent about 3 to 3.5 minutes on the internet looking for cyber hot takes, and thank you to everyone that responded. Keep it up. So what we're going to do, like Ryan said, some folks from Surge are going to read out the hot takes that you submitted to us, and we are going to start with the yin yang and work our way up, and we will spend 60 seconds either defending that hot take or smashing it apart.
We're just arguing it, really.
Okay.
Or crying.
Either way, it's going to be crying.
It's going to be crying.
So, Drew, if you want to queue up the first one, we'll get some tofu ready. So what's the first sauce, right?
OSINT, or as most people call it, OSINT, is really just Googling.
Actually, last year, but...
There we go.
All right, so first hot take was OSINT is just Googling.
OSINT is just Googling. Let's get some, there we go, proof. Not bad, it's smoky.
Yeah. A little bit.
Oh, shit.
Yep, that's hot.
Sorry, kids at home. That's where we're starting?
It's going to be a long day.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
OSINT,
That's a bad idea.
Lucas Mass, if you're watching this, I hate you.
so much.
Okay, so.
Yeah, OSINT is just Googling. Actually, we use Brave now, or DuckDuckGo.
I
OSINT,
use Truther, I think. Isn't that the new website for social information?
it is. It's my
Yeah.
favorite one. You can make any account you want.
No, I'm not touching
man.
anything.
So, OSINT, I do believe, is more than Googling. I think Googling is a part of it. I think people that think that don't quite understand the overall capabilities of OSINT. Do I think it's strong enough for its own discipline? No, I think it's part of an overall intelligence role, but OSINT is useful, but useless.
There we go. First hot take, burning question by Mick.
I'm not gonna, oh, that's so
Drew,
bad.
what are we up to next?
Orgs are worried about APT groups until they are ransom.
Let's hear it.
Organizations are super worried about advanced threats until they get ransomware, and then they're worried about ransomware.
Okay, next sauce.
This is the Aleppo pepper, which, what is Aleppo?
I don't even know where it is anymore.
Me
It's
neither.
quite the discussion here.
So, all right, let's try this. Actually, I think the other one was
Yeah, that was
hotter.
way hotter.
That was, yeah.
This unscientific rating of, yeah, try this sauce. I don't know why you went for this, but that's
Because it
good.
says yin yang,
Yeah.
and I wanted to make Megan
This
proud.
one's more like a Topatillo. It's not much there. It's solid on the back. It has no guidance for capsicum or anything like that. Okay, so the hot take, Mick, what do we got?
Yeah, 100% right. Everybody wants to be spy stuff all the time, and honestly, it rarely is. And if it is, you're probably not going to detect it. There are tons of things you should be worried about in your environment. Ransomware becoming the most prevalent that we're seeing now.
That's all we talk about on this
It's
show,
fair,
right?
yeah.
It's all the time. One thing I will say, my only disagreement with this is there's that, we talk about this a lot because we always talk about ransomware, is that CERT New Zealand white paper, which shows the life cycle of.
Yes.
And I remember I was talking to James Brodsky, Shannon Davis, a couple other people, and we were talking about ransomware, and I was like, no, ransomware is different because it's a worm. And Brodsky was like, yeah, welcome to 2015, you don't know what the hell you're talking about anymore. And the modern ransomware kill chain is almost identical to an APT attack. So my thought on it is more like, well, who cares about either of those? At the end of the day, it turns out if you defend your network well, you probably stop
All
any
the
of your
things,
threats. So
Like, we're going to ignore BEC, that's a different conversation.
yeah,
but
that's
I
a
think
whole different conversation. Like multi-billion dollar issue. But no, let's
focus on
let's
APT
focus
that
on,
affects 6 organizations.
Gothic tofu and its
Right.
assault on Aleppo. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Let's roll the next hot take.
Hey, this is Tamara Chacon, and the hot take that I have for Mick and Ryan is that there is no entry-level skills gap.
Okay, there is no skill gap in cybersecurity. I believe that's the hot take. Is that right, producer Drew? I just put up a couple job postings. I had 390 people apply for the first one. I would say there is a skill gap. Oh, right, I have to eat this. Mostly because, in my opinion at least, I think the basics of getting in the front door of cybersecurity is this high, and you have to have someone either sponsor you or get a job that really just lets you grind for a while before you can get in. So I don't think there's a skills gap, but like the entry level, like that is not a thing.
Yeah, I think entry level went away quite some time ago, and you see it in a lot of the job postings. Hey, I need you to have 10 years of Kubernetes experience. And I think that's a disconnect between the talent and the people that are writing the requisitions. I know the position that we hired for recently here at Splunk, there was a lot of time and effort that got put into, this is what we want the new strategist to do. Someone on Surge. I do think there is not a skills gap. I just think what's being looked for by recruiters isn't at all, accurate.
Well, and when we started, back when there were computers, I mean, James Brodsky actually started with an abacus. We started, there was no cybersecurity job. You were actually just an IT admin, you were a network admin, you were a Unix plumber, you did all the things. And one of those things happened to be security or lack of it. And now I see, there's all these cybersecurity boot camps, there's all these cybersecurity college programs, and that's really wonderful. But then they get out of college and they're like, cool, that's actually not what the job is. And I think that's a huge difference that kind of exists. So I don't know if there's a skill gap, but it's more of a skill shift, like a disconnect. Like we're teaching this, but you can't create a syllabus for academic world and then have that still be valid by the time that's all done. So I don't know. Everyone's just screwed.
Yeah.
Except for Except for people with
Except for
Cyrillic
us
as well.
here eating hot
we're
sauce.
double screwed. All right. So next hot take, I think.
My hot take for Rian and Michelle is blue teaming is harder than red teaming.
All right. So here we are.
What
We
sauce
have
is this?
Smoky Ghost, which was my nickname in high school. The heat level is hot, very helpful, scientific. We'll do a dip first, and then we'll try to talk about blue teaming is harder than red teaming.
Oh, this isn't bad. Oh, I lied.
That's fine. Nope. No, that's got a kick.
Yeah. Oh, shit. So I grew up blue teaming. Of course, blue teaming is harder than red teaming.
So we're done.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Sorry, red teamers. I love all of you, but
I know.
yeah, my job's harder. So
Especially you. You know who you are.
Oh
God.
shit. So I think blue teaming is harder than red teaming because my background and experience. It's easier to set one fire instead of putting a bunch out. Whatever analogy you want to use, there are intrinsic difficulties in both sides of the fence.
Ooh,
all
look
of
at
it.
you being. There's good people on both sides of the firewall.
Exactly. You get my point. It's maybe we should gab about it a bit more. Yeah. Very good fire. So yeah, I think blue teaming is harder than red teaming, and I'll die on that hill. Everyone has submitted. I know Amy over at ZeroFX. You're 100% right. Blue teaming's harder.
So I want to disagree with that, and I can't. But the one thing I will say is red teamers have a really boring job. I think anyone who's actually ever were like, I want to be a red teamer, and they're like, this is so exciting. And then it's like you get the first 5 minutes, they're like, I popped that box. And then their boss is like, that's awesome. Now write the 75-page report. And it's like, that is the part that is not fun. The second hardest part is it is incredibly difficult for a red teamer to actually show value to an organization long term.
Yeah.
Like that's why this whole purple team thing came up, right? Like the idea is, if you're a red teamer, you're going to do this, and you need to show value. I think there's a lot less red teamers, just numerically. Like it's not funded. Like almost every company in the world has a blue team, but not all of them are actually funded for red teams, nor should they be, perhaps.
That's fair.
I don't know. I don't think it's super hard, but
But I know I couldn't do it. To be
yeah,
fair.
I couldn't do it at all. No. Well, I don't know. I can use Havij Scanner and Acunetics and PowerShell Empire. That's all they do, right?
Going to go work for the IRGC next?
Yeah, I'm gonna, it's going to be fine. Everything's fine. Okay, Drew, next hot take, and we're getting up to hot tie green now. So
I'm not looking.
The good news is I get to read this one out loud to you, so you have to repeat it for the crowd. Cybersecurity Awareness Month is a waste of time.
Cybersecurity awareness is a waste of time. That is the hot take. Well, there's going to be a lot of people who made PowerPoints who are very sad about that hot take. Yeah, I have to admit, I'll say I don't care about Cybersecurity Awareness Month. I think every day is Cybersecurity Awareness Day, and we should all care deeply about that. I just don't get it. Like, I'll be honest, I don't get the Cybersecurity Awareness Month idea. I think it's probably transcended. I don't think there's a business leader in the world. My father-in-law, brilliant man, civil engineer, doesn't know anything about computers. Like when he asked me questions like, are the Chinese listening to me in my Samsung TV? I don't think we need Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
So, yeah, it's worthless. I don't. It's I guess it's virtual signaling for the cyber awareness crowd. I don't know. Cyber is an everyday thing. It's not something you focus on once a month. We were out having sushi last night, and someone had the idea, hey, look, don't have a month. Just give me a day or two out of those months. So it's year-round because it's a year-round thing. And
Eat this.
I did that. It's not great. It's super hot.
Yeah, super hot.
And I'm Thai, and I knew that was going to happen. And I think I'm going to have words with my mom because
I'm never visiting Thailand again. This is horrible.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Is there a better way to do it?
Yes.
What is it? Is it replying all to an email about cybersecurity awareness?
If that gets more eyes on things, it gets more eyes on things. I do think cybersecurity is becoming more common. You see ads everywhere. You see more commercials everywhere. It's becoming a more mainstream thing. But the application of it, I think, no, it's worthless. We're screaming about the same stuff we've been screaming about for the past 20 years. Like, hey, multi-factor. Hey, patch your stuff. Hey, ID your environment. I am sweating. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it has value. I think the way it's applied has no value right now. But,
go.
you know, happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Okay, Drew, what is our final hot take?
Oh, man.
Hot takes are dumb. My hot take is, it depends.
Okay, we are on to our last hot take, and if I'm slurring a bit, it's because my tongue really hurts.
Okay, so
what
our
is our
final sauce is called Dever Random from Burns and McCoy. It's cherry and Trinidad scorpion.
It actually has a
hot
portrait of my
sauce.
ex-girlfriend.
It's actually, yeah, that's,
yeah.
I do, yeah.
Sorry,
everything
Angie. Yeah, I don't.
What's a Reaper?
What's a Reaper? That is a pepper. I believe it's going to be of a Carolinian or a Trinidadian variety.
That's perfect.
This
is, oh man.
Why do they have to have the word scorpion on there? I don't.
It's a Mortal
I don't
Kombat
do this.
tying. It's,
Okay.
All right, so.
When they said we're holding your RSUs hostage for hot sauce, I'm going to get a new job. Which one is it? Is it the angry one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Whew! No.
No, shit. Fuck.
You're 100% right. Cyber hot takes are dumb. This is a bad
This is
idea.
a bad idea. That's not fun. Why did you pick this?
Oh,
That's not even pleasurable.
Here's some milk. This is. I don't know if cyber hot takes are dumb, but this was a dumb idea. So thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Comment away, like and subscribe, etc., etc.
Smash that like. I don't. Do we have like buttons? I don't
my
like
God.
this. I don't want to smash this.
I don't.
Anyway, we'll be back.
And 2 Tuesdays. Drew, you know what to do.
Well, let's be a cyber WarCon maybe. I don't know if we live. Oh God.
Oh God, this
This is not good. I don't like those noises.
Oh no, this is bad.